Michael Flynn pleads guilty to lying in the Russia probe. Now obstruction charges could hinge on a tweet that raises questions about why the president fired James Comey.
You tweet and comment regarding ongoing criminal investigations at your own peril. I'd be careful if I were you, Mr. President.
A bruising battle over taxes now moves to the next phase. House and Senate leaders will start to reconcile their two bills. We'll tell you where the GOP has big gaps to close and why it's all very good for Wall Street.
And Billy Bush is back. Out of the shadows in a scathing op-ed, he makes clear the president said exactly what you heard on that Access Hollywood tape. So what will Bush say tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert? Could be an interesting appearance. Thanks for getting an early start with us. I'm Dave Briggs.
And I'm Christine Romans. It is Monday, December 4th. It is 5 a.m. in the East, noon in Jerusalem, 7 p.m. in Seoul. Welcome, everyone. President Trump returning to an old playbook following the newest criminal charges in the Russia probe. He is lashing out at the intelligence community. This comes after former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his discussions with the Russian ambassador during the transition.
In a series of tweets over the weekend, the president attacked the FBI and its former director, James Comey. In one, he writes, "I never asked Comey to stop investigating Flynn, just more fake news covering Comey lie." That puts the president directly at odds with what he told what Comey told Congress in June.
I understood him to be saying that what he wanted me to do was drop any investigation connected to Flynn's account of his conversations with the Russians.
President Trump's most notable tweet on Flynn turning state's evidence came Saturday. "I had to fire General Flynn because he lied to the vice president and the FBI. He has pled guilty to those lies."
Critics quickly pounced, saying if he fired Comey, knowing the FBI was investigating Flynn, that on its own may constitute obstruction of justice. Mr. Trump's personal lawyer, John Dowd, now claims he drafted the president's tweet, but top Democrats in Congress say obstruction is very much a part of the wider investigation.
The Judiciary Committee has an investigation going as well, and it involves obstruction of justice. And I think what we're beginning to see is the putting together of a case of obstruction of justice.
Jeremy Diamond with more from the White House.
Good morning, Christine and Dave. Well, the president spent part of his weekend on social media attacking the FBI after special counsel Robert Mueller, his investigation filing its first charges against the Trump administration official. Of course, that is Michael Flynn, the former national security advisor who on Friday pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI. And the president picking up on a different story this weekend to go after the FBI's reputation, saying that it is in tatters. This was regarding an FBI agent who was detailed to special counsel Robert Mueller's team. He sent text messages to another FBI agent that could be interpreted as anti-Trump or pro-Clinton. These were text messages sent during the 2016 election. The president, in one of a series of tweets, well, here's what he said: "Tainted, no, very dishonest FBI agent's role in Clinton probe under review led Clinton email probe." That's because this agent, in fact, was one of the lead investigators on the Clinton investigation. The Justice Department's Inspector General is now investigating the handling of that investigation. But the president's tweets this weekend appearing to hit at the FBI's reputation, as he said it was in tatters. And well, that led to former FBI Director James Comey, who of course has feuded in the past with the president. The president actually fired Comey. Well, Comey took to Twitter to defend the FBI. Here was his tweet: "I want the American people to know the truth. The FBI is honest, the FBI is strong, and the FBI is and always will be independent." Christine and Dave, back to you.
Jeremy Diamond, thank you.
All right, joining us now for the first time on Early Start, Laura Barone Lopez. She's a congressional reporter for the Washington Examiner. Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Morning.
All right, stop me if you've heard this one before, but the president may have gotten himself in bigger trouble with a tweet. How big a problem might that tweet be that the president sent out that John Dowd, the lawyer for the president, now says he wrote?
Well, it definitely could be a big problem, given the fact that the president appeared to say that he knew that Flynn lied to the FBI when he fired him. So if the president knew that Flynn had committed a crime and then the next day told Comey that he should see to letting this investigation go, then that looks like a pretty strong attempt to obstruct justice. And so if that wasn't already under the purview of Special Counsel Mueller's investigation, it definitely is something that is going to be drawing more scrutiny now.
You know, it's so surprising to me that a White House lawyer or one of the president's lawyers said, no, I wrote that. You know, I composed that tweet for the president to decide whether he wanted to tweet, which is kind of a new thing, because I mean, my assumption has been the president gets up at about this time every morning, starts watching morning television, and then just starts tweeting, right? I mean, what do we know about this claim from John Dowd, one of his attorneys, that he wrote this tweet?
Well, that's right. I mean, we've never really heard before that Trump's lawyer has penned any of his tweets for him, drafted any of his tweets for him. So this claim by Dowd is pretty unusual. And you know, it's difficult to say if it is even true. That being said, it's also difficult to say if even what the president tweeted is accurate. Again, you know, the president has tweeted lies before. So again, that's something that will come under investigation likely. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if Mueller and his investigators also want to talk to Trump's lawyer about that, specifically what he said about this.
Yeah, especially with the pointed tweets. I think we've all assumed Dan Scavino, the social media director, sends out some of the innocuous tweets. They just kind of make a generic statement about things. But pointed tweets like this have always been, in the words of this president, and official statements from him. But the president does have a point. When he starts tweeting on 7:42 a.m. on Sunday morning tweets has got to be the title of a book at some point in the future. But he has a point when pointing out this FBI agent who Bob Mueller had to fire from the special counsel investigation, who was once in charge of the Hillary Clinton email investigation. He had sent out some anti-Trump texts. When Bob Mueller became aware of them, he fired him. But how big a problem might that be as we look back on the Hillary Clinton email investigation?
Well, look, I mean, we've seen that President Trump wants to relitigate the 2018 election, and Mueller knows that he wants this investigation to look apolitical, which is what a special counsel is supposed to do. It's not supposed to be partisan, and so any whiff of that, and that needs to be stamped out. Especially since we have a president who wants to discredit the FBI and discredit the CIA and intel officials as much as possible when he feels that he is under attack by them. And so that's what we saw Mueller do in that case. So
you're a congressional reporter. You cover Congress. And if we weren't talking about Michael Flynn and the Russia probe, we would be talking about once-in-a-generation tax reform. How bruising do you see the House and the Senate this drive to agree on something that is essentially not populist? This is corporate tax relief.
No, you're right. And were already passed, so passing it, you know, individually. And